Hi, I'm Barbara, and today we will go through some of the MakeCode blocks. First, when we get into our workspace, we by default found the onStart and Forever block. These two are one of the most basic blocks that we can find, and they are under the blue basic category on the top of the list, next to the icons and the strings. Well, for the onStart block, it's very useful when we try to initiate something from the beginning, regardless what we click on. And it's really good for making a setup that something will run when the program starts. So in this case, I will play with the LED section that it's purple, and then I will go through the more options, and I will set the brightness to 255. On MakeCode, 255 is the highest value for brightness or LED and also for sound. So being 255 the highest and 0 the lowest, I will play with it and I will put 136. So this means that each time I start my program, the brightness is set to 136. And with the forever block, as its name says, it's something that will go on and on and on and on non-stop. So with this, I will play with icons as you already did, and some timing. Okay, let's see. As you can see, the brightness is not very intense, and my icon is going on and on and on non-stop because nothing is telling when it will stop. It's going forever. So I can still play with the brightness. Let's go lower. We can almost see it. And let's go back to the default that is 255. Now we will explore loops. We have different kind of loops. Actually, the onStart and the forever blocks are also loops, but they are under a different category. The main difference between the green loops is that we have to tell them when something will happen. That means we need an input. So we will grab this, and we're telling the program that when I press the A button, something will repeat 4 times. But I want you to see this. Okay, I will create another input. A different one, because remember, if we put the same input twice, it will make like a override or a crash. So it won't work. So now I will play with the B button. Okay, now I will explore with music, and I will take this out so we don't get confused. Okay, I will play with a tone. Okay. Okay, now I have 3 tones, C, C, and C. I will change the beat, and I will also change the to create a different sound. Okay, now we will see how B sounds. Goes very fast. Half a tone, half a beat. Let's go. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. But what if I want to play this 3 times? Well, I have to write it again and again And again, now we have 2, and let's make another one. Okay, let's see. Okay, we got the same repetition 3 times, and it's over. But as you can see, we have a big slice of code. And sometimes we can get to the same result in many different ways, and it doesn't mean that something is wrong and the other one is right. It's most that which one is more efficient and which one communicates the best. So right now I have a very large code, but I can make the same with only 3 buttons. So if as I repeated the same chunk 3 times, 1, 2, and 3, I will put that into my loop. So I will use this again, loop. Okay. Now, as you can compare, this is very short and this is very long. And let's see. Let's compare to B. It sounds the same, but it's easier to read, it's less steps, and it's clearer. So here, also remember that when I find some spaces or blocks that I can edit, I can also change the amount, but I also can also drag some blocks and put it there. So I can play with the values or the okay. Okay, now that I play with this, I will remove this as we are talking about loops. And then we get to the second option that it's while. Okay, so in this case, these kinds of loops are called conditional loops. A condition is until something is met. So something will happen until the condition is met, then it can happen another thing, or it can change, it can do a different thing. So for this, I will use this block. I also need an input. So I will play with this one on shake. And I'm telling it, while my microbit is shaking until the condition is false, that means until it stops, it will do a different thing. So in this case, I will also play music. Okay. Let's play for half a beat. Okay. So let's explore what happens. Let's go shake. Okay. Nothing is happening because as it's shaking, it's not making the condition that it's false. But what if I change it to true? Here we go. Okay. As you can see, my microbit is shaking, and while the shaking is true, the shaking is happening, this will happen, that is the tone. Okay, now I will stop this because it doesn't have an ending button. Okay. So the cool thing about this is a very simple condition, true or false. Is it met or it isn't? But I can also play with the blocks. And this is an hexagon block. So I will go through the logic section and I will drag the nut. So this changes the meaning. Until or while something is not met, it will happen. So I need to tell it what will be met. So for this, I go through the input again. And remember, I already have the button A over here, so it will crash. So I need to choose another button. That will be B. Okay. So this is saying, while shaking is happening, it will play that song, these two tones, but it will stop until the condition is met. That is, that button B will be pressed. So let's see. As you can hear, it goes on and on and on and on and on. Now, it's over because this condition was met. Another loop option that we have, it's for index from 0 to 4. So I will use this with the forever block. This is very useful to keep track or to count a certain event. So in this case, we have by default a variable. Remember, a variable is like a container for different things. You can create your own variable, for example, a counter, for example, icons, or temperature, or different things. But right now we will use this as an example. So we can play from 0, which is the lowest value, to 4, but I will change it to 3. Okay. So what I want to do is create a counter that will display the numbers. So for this, I will go to the basics and I will show the string hello. So let's see what happens here. I cannot see the count 0, 1, 2, 3. I'm seeing the word hello. But if I change through my variable, then I will keep the track. Here we go. 0, 1, 2, and 3. 0, 1, 2, and 3. And it keeps repeating itself because I'm in the forever loop. So I would like to tell it when to end. So I can go to basic and show string over. And then I will wait. So let's see. 0, 1, 2, 3, over. And it waits. And remember, it keeps going on forever and forever, on and on, because I'm in the forever loop. If this was repeating itself, like, let me play with this. Three times. I can. Okay, let's see. With button A is pressed. Okay. And as you can see, it's all messed up because I'm still running the forever. So I will stop this, and then here we go again. A. Third time. And it went off because it's only repeating 3 times. So as you can see, that's the difference between the forever, the repeat 3 times, and how we can use this loop for and to create a counter or keep track of numbers. And another slight variation on loops, it's every value milliseconds. So this one is very similar to the forever block, but the difference is that it's telling me in which interval it will happen. So the forever, it will just go on and on one after the other, but this is more about waiting and then starting again, and we can play with the time. So we will test it on the same. Okay, here we go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. It will repeat 3 times. And then it will wait. Right now it's not showing that much because it's a choose to wait 1 minute. That will mean that it will run and then wait 1 minute and then it will go again. Okay, as you can see, the main difference between this and the forever is that with this one we can create intervals, so it will not go one after the other. And with the repeat 3 times, it's a defined amount of times, but we can mix and match one with the other. 1 minute has passed and then it goes again. Well, I hope you find useful the use of loops. We will continue using them and combining them with other blocks, but those are the main difference. And remember, it doesn't matter sometimes which path do you take, you can get to the same result, but these kind of loops are very useful to be clearer and to communicate better and to read your code better.